I like to, through my content, inspire others that they can pretty much do anything if they that focused and set their mind to it. Because that was the number one thing that like always affected me growing up, is I didn't realize why I was so different than everyone else before, you know, I found out I had ADHD and everything, and it always like held me back. But I always felt that like if I focused on something, I could do anything.
Good morning. Good morning everyone, welcome back to the last Japanese vlog that's going to happen on my trip, because we're sadly going home already tomorrow, and it's been such an amazing fun experience. I didn't even vlog anymore our snowboarding experience, but I posted some reels on IG and that was so much fun. 6 days in the snow wasn't enough. Next year I will do a drive and take this down to Sapporo, because that was the whole plan on building the Evo. But I've had so much fun here in Japan that I want to do more. I want to see more, I want to participate in drifting, and it's not as easy as Manila, because in Manila we do have people we can call, we have teams that we know. Here I don't know much shops, but even though I do know some people, they're very busy doing their own things. And this morning a very prominent YouTuber from Australia who's now moved to Japan has graciously opened his doors to us so we can visit him and see his car shop. I don't know if you guys know him, his name is Sam Lucas. He has a YouTube channel called Sammit, and he has been making car content here in Japan. And yeah, he's basically a contact person that I met back in 2018 with the RWB family, and then obviously the pandemic happened, we fell out of touch, and just recently I saw him again with Larry here at the RWB meet, and I asked him like, hey, can I stop by the car shop? And he's like, sure. So I messaged him on my last day here in Tokyo, and we're gonna go take a 45-minute so drive now to his HQ and see his garage, ask him some questions on what we need to do to maybe get a space out here or just rent a spot so that we can hold a drift car. And then what kind of drift car do we get? Do we get the 1JZ Soros, or do we get like Euro drift car, or do I even ship a drift car from Manila to Japan? Driving here has been so entertaining, and I'm actually getting used to it. I can't believe it's taking me this long to get a road-going Evo. And I do have a rally Evo, but I went too crazy with it. Departs from being a very practical car and becomes a very impractical car, like a race car. And my Evo 4, which looks like a 5, which is now a rally car, which is still with Mato, and it still hasn't been able to do any dirt shredding. So I need to make sure to check on that when we get back. But lots of plans when I come back to Manila. As much as I don't want to go home just yet, I do have to go home because we have clients that we need to take care of. We have a new spot that I'm also renovating. We have cars that are coming in, cars that are leaving. So lots of updates coming up on the channel, and I can't believe January is almost over. Check out all the cars for sale here at this parking structure. I think we've been here before with Kyle. This is near Up Garage. Sammit HQ is coming right up. Some racing Miatas here, but I think we're here. 4-door Skyline. Yep, the pink drift car. Welcome to the Sammit HQ garage. And Sam is just cleaning up in between a bajillion projects.
I'll have like 10 project cards on the go, and then you'll see like another one pop up on like Facebook Marketplace.
It's like, that's a good deal.
You're like, oh, that's a good deal. That'll only take me a couple of weeks to do. That's a little bit.
Never takes a couple of weeks.
Never.
And I literally just caught that, the K truck. Hi, Angie.
May.
Hi May, nice to meet you.
You guys met last time, like long time ago at the RWB thing.
I was checking our chat. It was 2018.
Yeah.
When we messaged after RWB.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And
then everything just kind of changed.
I know. And then everything's like, but now I've been here since Jan 7, and I want to do more, and I wanted to ask you because I've seen that you moved from everything. You moved everything from Japan, from Australia to Japan, and now full-time.
Full-time, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while now.
I know. I think I was back reading through your channel. It's like 8+ years of...
Yeah, I think that was like when I first started like just uploading random videos here and there, but I never got serious on YouTube, like, and wasn't really like doing it, you know, like uploading a ton until like 5 years ago, I think.
And you help with the camera work?
Yeah, she helps with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, more than that, I'm more of the operational admin, paperwork.
So I have like mad ADHD, so I'll be like, oh, there's a butterfly, and then she'll be like, no, we need to do this paperwork, and
It's like, get back on track.
Yeah. I feel like behind every successful person is a partner that is doing so much to like support them. The organizer, it's just how it works.
I know, we're like, shiny thing.
Yeah. Literally, it happens all the time. Magpies,
yes, shiny
magpies
thing.
do that.
Do you have a Philippine viewership?
Yeah, we do actually.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Sam is Australian, and I think I was researching you're 35?
Yeah, I'm 35. I look
so young.
Oh, really?
I'm 45.
All my friends in this space are like 26, 27, so I feel like a boomer.
Okay, yeah, most of the people I know who still do content are in the much younger bracket. I do content for fun, and I share experiences. For me, it's like a memory album. Sometimes I forget where I've been, who I've met, and this serves to me as like that digital album that I can share with people.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, getting to meet cool people, doing cool projects. And I love the lineup. I moved away from JDM for a long while, but now I'm sort of like...
Getting sucked back into it.
Yeah, and it's like a fever, right? It's like, hey, we can get one of those. Hey, we can get one of those. I'm like, oh, stop.
You're definitely in the right place for it. Like, especially right now too. I feel like the market's at a really good time for buyers. Not good for sellers, but good for buyers.
It is soft, and I think there is something there. How did you start, and what made you decide to move from Australia, pack up everything?
So a lot of people think it was either for the cars or for my wife, May.
Yeah.
But I didn't meet May till after I already had everything organized and moved. And I didn't move here for cars. I was kind of interested in cars and stuff, and I started like a business with my friend that kind of just failed. So I just kind of gave up on all of that, and then ended up doing a lot of traveling back and forth from Japan for snowboarding. And then because of that, it then all came back to me, and I remembered that I actually loved Japan because the second language that you learn in school in Australia is Japanese.
I didn't know that.
And it was like the only class I actually got straight A's in. So, you know, and I remembered, I was like, oh, that's right. I really liked Japan and the culture because of like everything the teachers were telling me and stuff. And then I started doing a little bit more touristy stuff, and it just got bad. Like I was coming here for just weekends. So like I was traveling here so much, and I was like, you know what? It just makes more sense that I move here because I love it so much. And it was like just so different. I felt like people were so much nicer, more accepting and all that type of stuff. So then I just started lining everything up to move here. And then I moved here, and then I met May, and then I ended up meeting Oka-chan from Yashio Factory, which is the whole reason why pink is kind of like my color. It's like his color that's like kind of come over. He was like, yo, let me take you drifting. And I was like, oh, I've been drifting before. And he goes, no, let me take you for like real drifting. And he put me in the passenger seat, was tandem driving with this other international driver. And they were like bumping doors and stuff. And I was sitting in there like absolutely giddying and like just freaking out. And I was like, oh, so this is what real drifting is. And then from that point, it was then just like, he started teaching me, and that was it. And now we're here.
Same reasons. Like I just came from Furano. I was 8 days in the snow, and for me it's like it's not enough because 1 day in, 1 day out, 6 days on the snow. We had 1 day of warm days, so it was slushy, and then 2 days of powder. It's like, oh, Japan's weather is so inconsistent now.
At the moment, yeah.
But same, cars and snowboarding, it's why I'm here. I love it.
And it sucks because regrettably, I haven't been snowboarding in like 4 or 5 years. I need to go so bad, but I know I almost don't want to go because I know that first day is gonna kill me the next morning because it's been so long.
How many years have you not been snowboarding?
Probably 4 or 5 years, yeah.
That's like a sin because you
I know it's a sin, I know.
You live in one of the best Asian...
I know, but it's like that, you know, like once you...
It's in your backyard.
Yeah, it's in your backyard. So it's like you're just like, I'll get to it eventually. And then it becomes, you know, back burner when you're doing everything else.
Well, that's why I have an Evo. Everyone's like, why don't you get a Euro? I'm like, I need a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I need a snowmobile.
Yeah.
And I needed like the roof box setup and a manual. I wanted a quintessential JDM car. I didn't want another like M5 or...
And you've even got the canopy on the roof with the boarding gear.
Exactly. So I told our friend Lucas, like, I'm going to buy a powder board and a directional board and just leave it in the box.
Jeez.
So that every time I come back...
You're just ready to go all
exactly.
the time?
Yeah, that was the reason. But I think March, we're gonna try to catch the tail end.
The tail end of the season.
And we're just gonna drive up to maybe Hakuba or something. So
Hakuba?
maybe
Okay.
you wanna come.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try and make it. I need to buy new gear. My gear's all crusty and gone. So
have you tried the step-ons?
no. So like I was like pre all of that.
Yeah.
So everyone like is telling me about all the new boarding gear, and I'm just like, man, I really want to try it.
It is so quick. Literally, like the skiers, you just click, click, and then
So cool.
you go, and they're so comfy.
Do they ever fall off though? Like skiers?
I've had my Burtons for almost. This is the 3rd year and 0 issues.
That's awesome.
But I know one day like the plastic is gonna have
Eventually.
play
Yeah.
and
I mean,
but
every
they're gonna
couple
have
of years.
version 3 or version 4.
All right, let's get into cars though. All right. So this car I had when I met you. This is the first car I ever bought in Japan.
Is this an R33 GTR?
It's actually just a 33 GTST, but with a 34 front end. It's just got a Neo 25 in there, makes 500 torque and horsepower. So it's just super responsive, can get you into a lot of trouble when you put your foot down, a lot of fun.
Everything you build is purpose-built for drifting, or?
No, well, yeah, everything's driftable.
Yeah.
But you know, this was the first car I learned to drift in, so there is like sentimental value there. But the direction of this build was more of like just a street fun car that is super responsive. So this, while it can drift, it's not its purpose anymore. It's kind of, evolved from that. This one is a purpose-built like street daily car that can also drive to the track and drive back. So this thing, we've got a new transmission coming for it, and then this will be back. This has just been sidelined for a long time, but this was the car that like Oka-chan found for me, and we built together, and kind of this was like what I learned a lot of my initial drifting in.
Is this what made the channel too? Like
Pretty much, a lot of people thought this was the hero car. Like a lot of people started, I guess, subscribing around this era, but this was what started the channel. So it's kind of like 2 OGs here. Yashio Factory is kind of like the Sylvia version of that.
Yeah.
So he's known as the Sylvia God, and he's like just obsessed with only working on Sylvias, won't take any other car at his shop. He just focuses on that. So he makes all the great parts for it. He knows these chassis like the back of his hand. And yeah, we built this car together. It was a lot of fun. I snuck in a bunch of like new technology stuff there that he wasn't like open to at the time, but now it's like completely changed him because we did this together, and it's just been really, really cool to see like me grow, but him grow as well through it. So it was a really cool kind of collab.
I've always had issues with SRs.
Everyone does.
If you push it beyond 350, you're asking for trouble. Rocker arms or gearbox failure.
Yeah.
Like, what have you done to bulletproof your situation? Because I mean, on stock trim with 17s, they're fun cars. But if you want to go faster, push more power, put bigger wheels, everything starts breaking. Like 3rd gear, always when you clutch kicking it, it just like grinds it through.
Yeah, you can't use the stock trans. Even if you upgrade the internal gear sets of those, the input shafts are so small, so they're like at a 400 horsepower, just like at any moment they could shred. So we always we put an RB25 trans in them. Some people do a Z transmission as well. There are other options with dog boxes, but that's a little too expensive. When it comes to the engine itself though, because this makes 500, a really easy way around like just making sure you don't have any detonation issues is ethanol, but ethanol is not super available in Japan.
Yeah, you have to travel with your own ethanol.
Yeah, so with pump gas, it's just a really good tune, but also just the parts that you're using. So, making sure you've got a good exhaust manifold that flows well, not too much back pressure, keeping that 1-to-1 ratio there. And then, good intercooler is important for your IATs, but with the main issues on them, it is rocker arms, right?
Yes.
Rocker stoppers is one of the number one things that Oka-chan taught me is like the biggest no-no in SRs, because if a rocker's going to come off, it's going to come off no matter what. And if you have a stopper there, it locks it in there, it can break your cam and your whole head will be junk then. The secret is valve guides. So valve guides on SRs, they always wear out and get play. So the valve starts moving around and the rocker only has one locator shim. And when that starts moving around, that sends a harmonic up through, and then things get a little, hey, you doing, up in the top end. And if you have a hard limiter, not a soft fuel cut limiter, then your rocker's gonna fall off. So whenever you take the head off and you're doing a head gasket, send it to the machine shop and do at the very minimum exhaust valve guides. But like we rev these to 8,500 RPM with stock valve train. We're not upgrading springs or anything, and they don't have a problem. For me, when I came here from Australia, I was like, oh, SRs suck because same experience. But then when he taught me everything, I've never had an issue. I just do everything like that because everything in the head is a consumable on these older engines. And the older they get, the more worn out everything gets and kind of sloppy and the tolerances are. So
I even know some people who remove the VTEC and go old school, right? And they said it's more reliable, and I still broke it.
Yeah. I mean, the number one fix for an SR is to do the VE head conversion, you know, from the P13s, P11s, P12s.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can rev them to 10K and there's no problem. But they're just, no engine makes the torque and the peakiness that these do. They're fun.
And they sound good. They actually do sound good. Yeah, well, I mean, so when I started drifting, my first car was a S14.
Okay.
And then within a week, I wrapped it on around the post because I was driving home drunk. First rear-wheel drive car.
How old were you?
That was, God, it's probably 20 years ago.
20 years ago, okay.
Yeah. So after I bought A86 and then found it to be severely underpowered, and then I started getting into all the JDMs like S13, S14, S15, A31, and I still have the A31 till today.
I feel like that's like Philippines / Thailand / like Malaysia, like they all love the Ceferos, right?
Oh, but you love my Cefiro. It looks like an R34U.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, that thing's sick. You have a UZ in that, right?
No, I now have an LS3
LS in it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
It's been through SRs, RB20, RB25, RB26, and then now an LS3.
Do you have like a wall at your house with like a picture of the engine bay as it's changed over the years? Like you could probably fill a whole wall.
Kinda. I should print all the photos.
That's kind of funny, right?
And it's funny because I sold that car and my best friend sold it back to me when he blew the motor. And I was like, you know what, no, keep it. And then through the years, I'm like, it's the only one I've kept from that era of my life. And till today, I'm like, this is like now museum piece for me. I'm never gonna sell this car.
It's kind of like what's happening to these cars. I mean, I don't know if you have the same problem as me, but I really struggle to sell cars. Unless I really hate the car, like I somehow don't like the car.
They're like my limb.
Yeah, literally. Because once you put in all this work, like your blood, sweat, and tears goes into these cars, right? Then you feel like attached to it, and then you just can't. Yeah, it's like you can't let it go. So.
I totally understand. I'd have complete struggle selling cars.
Yeah.
But I know I need to because space is always an issue.
Yep.
Which brings me to a question. As a foreigner, how do you require a warehouse? And then the cost for a warehouse like this? And then if I want to go drifting in Japan, thinking like, do I send a car from Manila to here? Because I have a few drift cars in Manila, or just buy a drift car here. And people are telling me, like, someone told me to stay away from power vehicles, but I'm like, they look like they know what they're doing.
Oh, they've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah.
At Ebisu Circuit?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of having a car just stored at Ebisu?
Well, I do want to bring it around eventually, so maybe something that's like at least little street legal.
Yeah.
And then
so the problem is like getting a car registered here and then like storing it at Ebisu, it can be a little tricky, like finding someone to put it in their name for you or...
Lucas will do that for me.
Well then if you've got that,
like this
then
car
that's
is
fine.
named under his company.
Oh, great.
So storage-wise, I have a place, but yeah, I don't know if I should. I mean, building a car would be good content, but that means I need to spend more.
Yeah, finding something that's kind of already pre-loved would be really good. You know, I feel like the money that you'd spend, like getting a car shipped over here and dealing with any kind of issues like that, like it's almost better to just find something here, but find something that's already like, you know, pretty well loved and looked after and like
effort,
good to go. Yeah.
I mean, the time spent, right?
Yeah.
I want to go drive, not wrench.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I know it's kind of like the cliche thing, but like chasers are just so reliable, and I know they're like not super peaky, like, and they're not like, you know, really agile like an S chassis, but they are tanks.
This is an 831 style chassis. I understand
Really?
these.
Yeah.
They're long wheelbase, slow to swing around.
Yeah, and there's so much like this. There's so much fun because we all have the same car, same power level, same boost level, and we can just all hang with each other and we can do the big drift chains, we can tandem non-stop. And that way you know if it's a driver issue or, you know, because we've all got the same cars. So if you can't hang with everyone, then you need to step up.
Thereabouts, how much would a pre-loved chaser?
You can still get really good deals on Tourer V manuals. I got one from my friend Chris recently for 12 grand, and that was a factory manual. Now that's kind of rare to find. It was kind of like we found that randomly, and it was like, just get it right away, no questions asked.
Because it's gonna go.
Yeah, but you can find like a pre-loved one for, you know, something that's had a bit of drift damage that's been fixed up and stuff. Like you could find anything, from like that 12 to 20 grand mark, you can find something really good, like really good.
Aussie dollars?
No,
or
US,
12 to 20
like
grand.
that is just like these cars are just so bulletproof. It's got a 1J, you know, you just make sure you've got a little bit of an upgraded turbo where just the internals are steel instead of ceramic.
Yeah,
and then
so
they
you
just
can boost it past 1 bar.
Yeah, exactly. So like we normally run these at 1 to 1.1, and that's just where they live, and they're great.
17s make it easy on
18s.
the... 18s.
I run 18s, but you can run 17s. If you had a 90, like a JZX 90, that's another good one, but then you've got the twin turbos, which can be a little annoying maintenance-wise. Normally people run 17s on those. We run 18s on the 100s.
Do you drive this to the track? You don't trailer?
No, this is this could be registered, but there's just no need for it. It's like my missile. So normally this lives at Ebisu, but because of the winter and stuff, and I wanted to obviously let Larry Chen drive as well while he was here.
Yes.
So I let him use it, and I keep it here at the moment because I'm going to be redoing all the aero. Because every year, because it's my missile, it gets beat up. So we got to put a new fiberglass rear end on it. It's been smashed, and change all the aero and repaint it. But this car I've brought back from the dead like 50 times. Like it shouldn't have been brought back, but we took it to an Italian guy in a frame machine, and he was just like Picasso with this thing, put a whole new front end on it. He reinforced all the frame inside, so it was like crisscrossing inside the frame. Wow. So if anyone ever crashes into this in the front end, their car's gonna be
Yeah, they're going to be like, why didn't your car crumple and my car crumpled?
He went all out, yeah. He's a really good guy. He loves watching the channel, and he was like, I'm going to make this thing a tank.
So you load this on the flatbed and then just drive the flatbed over?
Yep.
That's one thing I was like, do I need to buy a flatbed?
Flatbeds are pretty good here. Like
I know,
15 grand, you can get something.
You know, back home, I can call another shop and say, like, I want to go drifting. And
they just bring it all to the track.
Mechanics, and I'm lazy. I've been lazy already.
That's fine. Like, I mean, there's plenty of shops that will do that for you here too. Find a good shop that like you mesh well with, and then like just get them to arrange drift days, and then you just rock up and drive.
When you sent me the invite for drifting, like I wanted to go, but I hate watching.
Yeah.
Like I like driving.
Yeah,
like,
I'm the same.
That's with anything, right? When I attend a motorsports event, after like 10 minutes, like I wish I was participating.
Yeah.
Yesterday I came from Tsukuba, and I got 2 heats in, one in S2000 and one in a Miata ND, and lots of fun. Didn't break any records, but I just like feel like Gran Turismo, like little K cars in front of me, and then overtaken by a fair lady. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, scuba's always good. I did a couple of grip days there too, and some wild stuff happened in front of me. Like a little wheel-on-wheel contact, and this Yaris went flying through the air in front of me off the grid.
I saw that photo. Was it the white?
Yeah,
on the main straight.
Yeah, I was behind that, and then the 35 GTR missed the green light, so everyone just went around and darted, but the guy in the Yaris already saw it and was just flying down the side while this guy came out, wheel-on-wheel, and the car went flying through the air, and I'm sitting there like, this is my first time grip racing, and I'm like, I don't want any part of this.
You don't do any grip racing?
No, I've been getting more and more into it. The current series that I would say that I drive in is a K-car endurance race. Oh. It's a lot of fun because you're all driving crazy cheap cars, and it's 3 hours long, and we change drivers too. It's a lot of fun.
Little endurance series.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How did I go? I went circuit and then into drifting, and I didn't like the subjectiveness of drifting because judges, depending on your mood, if they like you, if they like the other guy, if the other guy's their sponsor. There's so much variables, and unlike circuit where your time is your time. Like everyone's like, you can't, there's no arguing it, right? If I'm fast, I'm fast. So that's why I went back into circuit, but drifting on the side just for personal enjoyment. We don't have the stuff that you guys have here where it looks like a Toge mountainside, like Gunsai.
Yeah.
Gunsai looks like a mountainside, but it's a racetrack.
Yeah, no, that place is amazing.
That's why I'm like looking at these videos, I'm like, oh my God, I want to do that.
Gunsai is wild because it's like the only track where I feel like every time I go out to drive it, like, and you go into the track to drive, there's like, you realize there's a 50-50 chance I'm coming back. Like not as in like you're going to pass away or anything, but like just like crashing. There's a 50-50 50 that something's going to happen. And it's, and it's not even you that you're worried about because there's so many blind corners. It's literally like a toge road. So you won't know who spun out in front of you or who's crashed, and then you come flying around the corner, clip him, and then you're in the guardrail down the hill. So it's like, it's the adrenaline and everything is very fun.
So it's like a no holds barred, like, come in at your own risk.
Yeah, no, you sign a waiver when you drive there.
Like if you crash your car here or lose a limb, it's on you.
Yep. And it's actually one of the only courses where like the owner tries to keep it as toge-ish as possible. So when you sign the waiver, it's your discretion if you want to wear a helmet or not. So there are some people there that choose to not wear a helmet, gloves, or anything.
Why would you?
It's crazy to me just because like it's, you know, like I'm all about like, you know, safety in motorsports, but like it's wild to me that there are guys there, like
They
guys
wanna feel street.
Yeah, like they roll their car and they get out not wearing anything, and I'm just like, man.
Even snowboarding, I rock a helmet
Yeah.
now because a few years ago I got swiped by a skier and the guy didn't stop. I ended up in the hospital, like full MRI, and the
Yeah.
doctor's like, "You're good, but take it easy." Shoulder took months to heal.
Yeah, same thing when I was boarding. I was always about the helmet. So many times you'd fall down, and like if it was a warm day and some ice or something had come up, and you smack back your head on the ice. Yeah, so dangerous.
So when you bring these cars out, generally mechanically wise, nothing, no issues?
No, the only weird things we've had is like with this car, I just rebuilt the engine recently, and that was after like 4 years of non-stop abuse.
Yeah.
The weirdest stuff I have with this is like, some stuff got in my fuel tank and clogged up the filter.
Okay.
You know, just stuff like that. So, you know, changing that on the side of the track or, you know, something weird like that. But otherwise, like this thing has done thousands and thousands and thousands of laps nonstop.
And usually how many sets of rear tires do you bring along with you?
If I'm doing drift Mitsuri, which is 36 hours of nonstop drifting, like that weekend at Ebisu Circuit, I'll go through 30 tires.
Wow. 30.
And that's me being conservative. Like,
It's 40.
Yeah, it depends. So I do like a non-stop live stream for that event, and like everyone watches me sleep. Like they get the full experience. Those that can't visit Japan and experience drift Mitsuri, you know, like whether they've got some autoimmune disease or something like that and they can't leave their house, they get to experience it. And we have like 7 cameras mounted around the car, and chat controls which camera they look at, so
And
they
you
can
just drift,
automatically
drift,
change.
drift,
Yeah,
drift.
and I just drive non-stop. So all the tandems, everything, they can see it all on the screen and follow the cars next to me and stuff.
How long do you sleep?
I try to sleep for 7-8 hours, but like when that happens, like I'll sleep at the hotel and they'll just see me in the corner, and then there'll be a screen that's like a playlist of my YouTube videos that they watch while they wait.
Oh, damn.
It's a lot of fun, but like, you know, like we're going through changing the tires and everything, and like it's just, yeah, it's a whole thing, and like they get to experience
tires.
everything.
But for like, let's say we were going to Gunsai.
Oh, Gunsai, I'd probably say 6, 8. Yeah.
Enough to like load the trunk, load the rear seat.
Yeah.
Because having a tow truck here is already like, I need a space, I need a tow truck. So being able to drive it to the track and then just bring a jack and a few tools to, as long as I don't crash.
If you're not being stupid, like if you're not just like for the sake of it, just making a ton of smoke, holding the throttle down and just rev banging everywhere, you can get away with a full day at Nikko Circuit with 4 tires, like 2 sets or a full set, right? Yeah. And that's including the ones that you drive there on.
Yeah.
You know, so and then you just make sure like pick a pair that's not like super bald, so you've got a little bit to get home on. You know, like that's how I used to do it. As long as you can fit 4 wheels and tires.
Or even put a roof cage on it and add more wheels.
Yeah, you could do that for sure. Like it's like that's what I used to do with these 2 cars. I'd fit 4 wheels in the back, go to a full day of training at a skid pan, and then go home.
I think that's the plan.
100%.
Road car version.
Something like this would be so perfect. So much space in the trunk, so much space in the back. It's perfect.
And then just get decent power. How much at the wheel?
I mean, like I said, you just get that upgraded core. But like these things make 400 at like 1.1 bar, so it's perfect. You don't need to, like 380, 400 is perfect for these. And then you just need like a good bolt-on angle kit, you know, like Heyman knuckles or reverse or something like that. And then these cars are like dialed. They're so easy to work with.
And like parts-wise, when you crash and bang it, where do you get like?
All from Origin. So like if you need any of this
they
aero.
They do all the reproduction stuff?
All the fenders, bumpers, everything like on this car is Origin. Even like carbon hoods and stuff, headlights and blinkers and stuff. These 2 things, right now there's reproduction items on Alibaba that you can get, and it's like $200 for the whole thing. And so I use those because I'm always destroying them. And then like everything else is just, it's so affordable. Like these radiators are just the China Alibaba ones. They're really good, 3-core. They're only $200. Wow. You know, just like we try to use as much stuff that is throwaway affordable, and that works well. You know, there's definitely some stuff you got to steer clear of. But like the intercooler, we use a Blitz intercooler kit. That's like the best kit for these. don't die.
Well,
They keep
yeah, I
going.
mean, you've proven this setup, and I'm sure a few of your other
so many
mates.
others, yeah. I would say out of every like content creator that has a chaser in Japan, I don't know, but maybe I have the most laps at Ebisu at this point. Like during COVID, I literally just was living there, non-stop driving every day, like from 9 to 5 every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like.
What is your favorite drift track?
I think when I think about it, this is hard, but Ebisu still I think is my favorite just because there's 6 tracks there.
Yeah.
So you just go to this one place, you pay $70 for the whole day, and you drive non-stop. If you get a gold card, it's like $1,000 for the whole year, and you just rock up and just pay 500 yen for your insurance every day, and it's like unlimited lap. If you're thinking about just one course, then Nikko Circuit is probably my favorite, just because like that's like one of like the dipper and like how aggressive it is, grassroots style stuff here.
Yeah, finding a place to garage the car, and then obviously looking for a pre-loved car, which is set up already. Who can I send it to get like those basic things checked? And
so the garage, I think find a garage that you want to work with, and then there's a good chance that they will already have a lead and friends that are probably looking to sell cars. They can then find the car for you. They'll be able to do all the maintenance, the work and everything for you, and then you're good.
what year is this?
This is a 98, I believe this
98.
one. Yeah.
And all the body panels from Origin. Okay.
Everything's from Origin, so it's the
Check,
wide
check,
fenders, check, yeah. And just, basic stuff like adjustable suspension. This is Daiki's car, my employee, he competes in D1 Light. Yeah, SR. He's got a sequential arriving, I think today or tomorrow to go in it.
What brand did you go with?
He went with TTI.
TTI.
Used one from a friend, so he's on an ultra small budget, so he's doing everything he can.
I know, ultra small budget, but still drifting. I love it.
He scrounges up every last bit. He'll be sitting here eating rice and natto for breakfast and lunch, saving money.
Okay, let's talk about, like, I saw this. You bought this to part this out.
Yep.
S chassis.
Yep, so S15, found this in Okinawa. It was abandoned. Crazy long story, but we're restoring it. It had some bad rust in the front. We got new panels, all welded in, replaced. From here, a few other little touch-ups, and then this car will be a full Rocket Bunny Street S15.
How many colors are on it?
Oh, dude, so many.
Blue, purple, green.
Yeah. And then the original color was gray. Yeah, it's got some interesting paint on it. The green bay is so, I don't know. Green engine bay doesn't do it for me. This thing we picked up actually just recently in Okinawa. It was supposed to have a blown engine. I got it ridiculously cheap. Like, this is a real get-tragged 6-speed VVTi, so the last model that they produced.
Damn.
And I got it for $12,000 US. And we were supposed to have a blown motor. There's nothing wrong with the motor. It was just a wiring issue. So once I fixed the wiring, it was fixed.
Like the starter solenoid wiring?
No, the coil pack harness. So it was misfiring because a couple coils weren't
Did you
firing.
even check, like, bring out the plug to see if there's spark?
I don't know.
It's so interesting.
This car is a little bit of a mystery on why it never really got driven, and I guess the owner just wasn't a car person, so he didn't really know.
He didn't have a trusted shop to send it to.
Most likely, yeah. So this thing's getting refreshed right now.
This is iconic.
It's got like the Sea West Aero kit on there, and like border racing fenders and a Vel side wing and stuff. It's super cool. Top secret hood too.
What's the plan with this car? Like, sell it later on?
No, because ever since I was little, I always wanted a Supra, and my dad convinced me not to go into debt to buy one back in the day for 18 grand in Australia.
Okay.
And I never got one after that because they skyrocketed. Yeah. So the fact that I was able to get this for 12 grand USD is 18,000 Australian. So the same price as that initial car that I looked at with my dad.
Back in the day.
So this is like really special to me. And my plan is to kind of build it up and make 700 horsepower on the street, send it to Australia on a carnet so I can surprise my dad and show him that I finally got a Supra, and then bring it back here and then do some other cool stuff with it.
The body panels look clean.
Yeah.
Engine-wise, it does look clean. Maybe rats or something had to go at the harness.
Yeah, something like that. Like, there's definitely like a few things that need attention, but like we've got a huge list of everything to go through, and we'll fix it all up.
This is like salt damage, right?
I don't know. Potentially, like, it's just like the paint's come off the aluminum and started corroding. So we'll go through everything and fix it up. But yeah, this thing will be fun. And then the K-Truck, and then the Bogan 32 out the front, which is a 4-door Skyline that I think.
Why does that have Alaska plates on it?
Oh, just because it's I collect plates from around the world.
Okay.
And I thought it matched because the car's yellow and pink, so I put a yellow plate on it.
Okay, that's so cool.
That's it. I hope you enjoyed your little tour here.
Yeah, no, the learning, this is a far reach for me to actually open my own space because cost-wise I don't live here. So finding that middle ground. Like I want to have fun, but I do want it to be my own car, so I can wholesomely like tandem with someone and not feel guilty like I robbed your car. I'm so sorry.
That's, I can never drive properly in someone else's car.
And you know, if we're buying a missile, then you can get like hello. Fold your mirror in.
Well, that's what the door marks are for, right? Like you exchange door marks with your friends.
Yeah, so like those are contacts between you guys just going around having fun.
There's photos of this car, and the whole side of my car is black from tire marks. Like
just
the whole
rubbing.
bottom side from non-stop from Drift Mid-Series. Like Drift Mid-Series is such an experience. I really hope you get to experience it and come. Spring Mid-Series coming up.
When is the date for Drift Mid-Series?
I'll have to text it to you later, but there's always spring, summer, and autumn, those three. And autumn's the craziest one. There's so many people, because that's like the end of the year one, and that's off season for drifting. So a lot of pro drivers from over in the US come and visit too. So it's a good time.
That's so cool.
Yeah. As like a foreigner in Japan, to get a space like this, you just gotta do everything right. Like the paperwork is a nightmare, and a lot of banks and stuff like that are going to be like, they won't even let you open a business bank account because you're a foreigner, or you know, they think that your business is illegitimate. The biggest like way to get around it, and the simplest way, is like you can hire someone to kind of be like listed as a director on your company who's Japanese, or you know, you can get married and then they can help you with that. But like they're a lot more open now to the entrepreneurial kind of business thing. When I first started out, they were so against it, but now they're starting to open more and more about it, because young people are starting to get into more entrepreneurial stuff. Before, they wouldn't even let you open a business bank account if you had an online store. They're like, oh, that's just a website. Anyone can make a website. That's not a business. That's literally what they told me. And I was like, what?
Interesting.
So like, it's just all about doing things proper, making sure you have a paper trail of you like being in Japan for a bit, paying taxes to the government. That's a huge thing. Once you start paying taxes, they open the doors for you for everything.
Oh, because they realize you're contributing citizen.
You're actually contributing citizen, And then, once you've got that, you've got a successful business that's bringing in profit and paying tax. After a couple years of that, then all of a sudden, the landowners and stuff like that don't mind renting space to you. So like, that's a big thing.
Is the paper trail. The credibility, I guess.
Yeah, so like in Japan, when you go to rent like a commercial property, it's not just like the real estate agent that just goes, yeah, no problem. The owner gets to decide if they want you to rent their space. And so many of them are quite elderly, they don't like foreigners, so the moment they see a non-Japanese name, they just say no right away, no foreigners. So a lot of rental places will actually have in the fine print, no foreigners allowed. It can be difficult, but as long as you find like a good real estate agent who can actually say, hey, I know you said this, but this is like a well business, they've been living here for this long and they paid money in taxes, then generally the door's open.
And they can vouch for you.
Yeah.
But I from seeing all the online stuff, right, like homes are so cheap now in Japan because the elderly, like the kids don't want to pay the taxes for it, so they just let it go for cheap just so that they don't have to deal with it.
That, or the government claims it because the tax was never paid for like 5 years, and then they do a blind auction. So you can get houses for as low as $5,000, $1,000, like just because they're just getting them. Yeah, exactly. And then you get this amazing like old style Japanese home, dump 50 to 100 grand into it to like modernize it with like air conditioning, insulation. You have this amazing home that's Japanese style, has a Japanese garden, all this old like, stone stuff, like stone walling and stuff, and it's just baller. I think it's super cool. My goal is to buy like a mountain, that's like a farm mountain, and make like my own ranch compound kind of thing, have my own little toge, like
a little LZ compound.
Oh no, bigger. Like I want a whole mountain in Japan. It'll be awesome.
That's an interesting concept.
Because then we can do everything there.
Yeah, it's my mountain, I can do whatever I want.
Exactly, and also like just, having all the stuff that you need to build a car. Like it is so, like you can see it, all the stuff on my shelves. I keep, like whenever I work with sponsors, I'm like send me 3 times of everything, because whenever we want to build a car, trying to just get fabrication supplies for exhausts and stuff, it's so hard. It takes weeks sometimes for this stuff to arrive or even be available in Japan. So being able to have all this on the shelf, and it's like, cool, I want to make an exhaust, boom, 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 weld it together yourself, done. Like welders and fabricators in Japan are so rare. Everything's bolt-on here. Okay. So like if you want to do anything custom, it's usually like a couple months it takes you to do something that would normally take you 3 days if you had everything.
In Manila, months to get these supplies unless we air freight them in, and even that is so expensive.
Exactly. So like this is why like I want a space like that where we have our dyno, we have a little track for testing, everything's there so we can literally smash out cars. Then it'll keep up with my ADHD because then I won't get bored with the project because it's taking so long waiting for parts.
But does the business model involve building cars for clients or
No.
just for your personal?
Just for me to have fun and make fun content. Like that's all I want to do is make fun videos on the internet that I enjoy, you know, and everyone else that can, you know, I guess get inspiration from my story or they can go and do the same thing. Like that's another thing is I like to, through my content, inspire others that they can pretty much do anything if they are that focused and set their mind to it. Because that was the number one thing that like always affected me growing up is I didn't realize why I was so different than everyone else before, you know, I found out I had ADHD and everything, and it always like held me back. But I always felt that like if I focused on something, I could do anything. And that's pretty much what I did with all of this.
And the speaking the language helped.
I was so lazy with it. I never studied. Like I never, like other than what I did in school, after that, I never went to school or anything. I just tried to use it every day and picked up. So I can speak it and get around casually, but I can't read and write properly.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a, yeah.
Still, even after being here for
10 years now.
10 years,
Yeah.
being married to Japanese.
Yeah, but I mean, she speaks English, so she grew up in California, and
Nihongo.
so she grew up in California and Mexico. Her Spanish and English is better than her Japanese. So.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Anyways, like it's like you can get around. Like I'm enough where I can communicate with everyone now. So that's fine. You know, I just tell people to speak slowly to me if they're using like long words or explain it to me in a more simpler way. But like, as long as you're using it every day, it's good. But I'm never the kind of person that can just sit down and study something with a book and a pen. So I have to learn through doing it.
Yeah.
So studying it was never going to work.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
Same.
Right. But anyways, so yeah, this is the shop, and you're welcome here anytime. And if you need, you know, I mean, one of my cars is always open, either the 32 or the Chaser, if you want to show it sometime.
Referrals for sure for.
Yeah. We'll find you. I'll find you someone that'll be able to look after you. There's a couple places up at Ebisu now that do like the whole support thing. There's Sideways Experience. There's a guy called James now that's like a solo guy, and then there's PV. So there's a lot of options there for people that want to get a car up there, stored and maintained and everything.
But Ebisu is so far. Like I was looking at the map, it's like a 3.5 at least.
So it's about a 3.5 drive from here, and then like, but that's the thing. You go there to drive, and there's 6 tracks there.
Yeah,
so like,
stay there for a few days.
Stay there for a few days, and then drive back to Tokyo. It's a nice getaway. There's a really nice hotel there with an onsen.
Do people sell tires down in?
Oh yeah. Those shops look after you with all that. You just tell them, hey, order me 10 tires, or you can even Amazon delivery them to the track.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, plan the weekend and then just bring whatever you have and.
Yep. Can you change tires?
Of course.
Yeah. So then
I can wrench.
Part of all of these guys is like they provide a service and they have like tire machines at their track, at their little shop spaces there that you get to use to change your own tires and stuff.
I mean, I might grind the lip down, but.
That's fine. That's fine.
I still remember how to change a tire.
But yeah,
it's not my most favorite thing to do though.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all just want to be in the driver's seat. I think that's like getting out, having to change tires.
But can you actually pay someone to change your tire?
You can, yeah, some of them do, yeah. I think it's like 1,500 yen per tire or something,
fine.
you know.
And just give them work.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like after a while, like you're tired, like adrenaline sets down and then you're just like.
That's why the onsen's really good, because every night if you do onsen, then you're actually like your muscles reset and you're good in the morning. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, I'm getting excited.
Yeah. Needs to happen. Do a drift Matsuri. Do the week before drift Matsuri so you get to like warm up to it, because Matsuri's chaotic. You got to watch out for others, not yourself. Yeah, you gotta watch your back and your front on Matsuri.
Because people will come in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'll show you some clips after this.
That's the nice thing, right? Because in Manila, the drift community is still very shy. Like they'll get up to about a foot away and they'll be like,
oh no, Matsuri, everyone's fair game.
Yeah,
everyone's fair game. Even the people you don't want to go to try and get close to you because you know they could damage your car. Yeah. They're still going to be there. Like everyone just goes to Matsuri and knows that everyone's fair game. That's just it. It's chaos.
That's cool. And again, now that I know there's full support for these chassis, because sometimes 90s cars don't have parts. Right? So if you crash something, you're like, where am I going to get this part? But now like Origin makes the body panel, so we're good.
Yeah, no, you're good. And like Toyota made so many of these cars in different variations of different engine packages. There's a GX that came with a non-turbo automatic, and they're like $1,000 a pop, so you can always reshell.
Oh.
Yeah. And you can get doors from them really cheap as well. There's a few things that Toyota doesn't make anymore, but you can still readily find, or you don't even need them. You just make your own.
Is the roll cage mandatory?
If you're local, no. If you're a foreigner visiting, then yes, yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have...
It's a bolt-in cage.
Okay.
You just got to make sure you have a proper bucket seat and a harness too.
Do you have a half cage or a full cage?
It's a full cage.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like it's just, you end up stripping out a bunch of stuff anyways, so.
Like, and then the wheels?
The wheels, I use the Valino wheels. Valino tires, you never heard of Valino?
No.
Oh, Valino, they're just a really strong wheel. They look good, great colors, and these have been with me since when I first bought this car. I bought a bunch of these, and these destroy everyone else's wheels, but these all always just got scratches on them. Like I've had wheels, other friends' wheels explode when they hit my wheels because they're just so strong. I haven't destroyed a wheel yet. Like everyone else's wheels just explode when they contact this.
Love it. Just glass.
Be careful, you might get it. Yeah, you might get that in
Yeah.
your finger. But like, yeah, this car's been through so many iterations. It's crashed so many times. It's simple, you know?
And just the hydraulic handbrake, is that wired into a separate caliper?
Yeah, we have a dual wheel wood kit. The secret to these chassis is Serial 9. It's a company in Canada. Canada or the US, I'm not sure. But they make a ton of parts of these, like special mounts and bushes to reinforce everything. Yeah, they're really good.
And what ECU are you running?
I run a Link plug-in.
Yeah,
They're just a
'cause your
plug-in.
cluster is already changed.
Yeah, so you can get a Link ECU that just plugs straight into the factory harness, and that makes things super easy, and you don't have to mess around with old tech or the factory ECU or like a Power FC, just straight to good ECU tech.
Enough for rear, some tires to get into rear.
Yep, I can put 5 wheels and tires, 18s in the back. It's a little Tetris-y, and then the back you can fit like 3 or 4.
I love it.
The trunks are so big, but they end
They
up
like
getting smashed up. So.
Damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I might be able to bring the Max there, but I might not be able to bring it home.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Definitely get yourself one of these. They're just so good. Like having a car stored there, and then let's say you wanted to do a day somewhere else, then pay for it to be transported back down. You know?
That makes sense.
Yeah. While you're not here in Japan, let's say you're away for 6 months or a year, just store it at Ebisu. It's only 5,000 yen a month. That's like $35 US. It's outside storage, but like, you know, it's...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's good. Like, it's just so good. And you can always just fly in, take a Shinkansen up there, get picked up, taken to a hotel, and you can drive at like 5 to 4 different tracks. Push yourself. Ebisu will make you an insane driver. There's so many different levels of driving there.
I'm rusty for drifting, but I can still slide.
Oh, you'll love it. Like, North Course is probably my favorite there because you come flying up a hill at like 90 mile an hour into a big entry on a blind corner.
Is that where the fall off is? They're coming out of a corner and then the car's sideways and it just jumps through the berm.
Oh, that's
into the
Minami. That
main
doesn't exist
straight.
anymore. They turned it into a rally track. So they clear the dirt off it every now and then, but the surface isn't the same anymore because they dug a lot of it up.
Oh,
yeah. But
that's like the
I've heard
options.
rumors that it's coming back, but who knows?
It's like the options DVD.
Yeah.
Classic.
So that's what like Ebisu was for me. It was like you'd learn on all these other tracks, and then if you could do Minami, you were like ready. Like you were like, you've done all this, and like that was like the expert course. So if you could do
gotta
that,
hit it hard from the top to make it all the way
down
to the
bottom.
corner.
And then if you gain too much speed down there, you can't scrub it off in time, and you'll smash into the other wall.
Yeah, or in the dirt at the end.
Yeah, it was a really fun track, and I got to drive it. And the year I finally worked myself up to it, at the end of that year they closed it down. So I got a year of driving on it. So I was going there like every spare weekend I had to shred on that track. It was such an experience. I crashed this car like 3 times on it, mainly in the wet because I just drive it in the wet as well, which is super dangerous, but a lot of fun.
I mean, you gotta learn all grip days, right?
Yeah. Wet days are triple XP days.
Triple
XP.
Your experience points.
Yeah,
Okay.
experience points go up a lot on wet days because it transitions to the dry.
Yes, understand. And yeah, it's different seat time, right?
Yep, very different.
That's so cool. Game.
You got this.
If you could only keep one car.
No, you can't do that to me. You can't even answer that.
Well, I could, because when my father passed away, he left this McLaren to me, and if I could only keep one car. that would be the car.
Ooh, I don't think, I would have to say in that case then, out of every car, I think this one has the most emotional, sentimental value, just because my father, he's quite ill right now, and like this has that kind of sentimental value where, you know, he wanted to teach me a lesson about going into debt with banks and stuff, so he said I couldn't buy this car. And then I ended up
within your means.
Within my means and stuff, and then, you know, like that's a really good memory and lesson that he taught me that I have of him. And, you know, so that would be this car now for sure.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
If you guys have time, please follow Sam on his IG and his YouTube channel. And you post more on YouTube, I think, every
YouTube's
day?
my main, yeah.
You're like
every other day, every second day there's an
daily
upload.
grind or every other day.
Yeah.
Hard work. That's such hard work and dedication. But thank you so much for hosting me. And yeah, I can get out of your hair soon.
You're good. Thank you guys.